good spot for a natural blind right there. Perfect. Well, turkey season's over, so I guess we're gonna get back into fishing. Had a lot going on. Ended up having to, well, it's not that we had to, we bought that house down in North Carolina, so we ended up going down there for 2 weeks. Basically, my turkey season came down to opening day, till noontime. I did get a bird. Unfortunately, it wasn't the bird that I wanted, but that's the way it goes. I was lucky to get anything. We had to, in other words, turkey season started, spring turkey season started May 3rd, and which was a Sunday. Well, we had made more or less plans on going down to North Carolina, and my wife thought we were leaving the 1st of May, and I had to explain to her, well, turkey season doesn't start till the 3rd, so it's like, well, she goes, well, okay, we'll leave Sunday. All this time I'm thinking that May 3rd was a Saturday. It was not, it was a Sunday. So by the time I figure this out, I have to come home and I say, so how do you feel about leaving Monday? So the bottom line, my wife being the lovely person that she is, put it off for 2 or 3 days, gave me a, opening day. I went out, they started hitting the ground about 5 o'clock, and just couldn't get anything to come in. There were probably 5 or 6 toms, and a couple of, 5 or 6 jakes, which is an immature male. A legal bird, but you don't really want to shoot them. Probably 4 or 5 of those, and then 1 or 2 good toms. Well, of course, Murphy's Law, for whatever reason, I decided to bring the camera out with just enough juice to get a couple of shots, and that was it. So the bottom line is I didn't get any of it really on video like I wanted to. I got a little bit of footage, but it was screwed up, and I had to move. I actually had to leave my blind because it got to be 9:30, 10 o'clock, and you got to stop hunting at 12, noontime, so I was running out of time. I gotta tell you, the only thing harder than shooting a turkey is trying to get one on video. Man, these things will not cooperate. I got a tom just down over the hill, and he's tied up with a bunch of hens, and I got a couple of hens up here, and they were more interested in the decoys than the tom was. So the only time he came up, he was right behind a tree. I couldn't get the camera on. It would have been busted there. So anyway, keep trying, I guess. Finally got into him, and there was a big tom, 2 hens, and 2 jakes. Well, the 2 jakes were fighting. All of this I should have had on video, but 2 jakes were fighting back and forth. The tom would not leave those 2 hens. He was about 60 yards out. He wouldn't leave them until he decided it was time to beat the hell out of one of the jakes. Then he'd go back to the girls, and the other jake would come to the other jake, and they'd fight a little bit. Had no clue what they were even fighting about. But bottom line, I ended up having to take a jake. And it's kind of funny because a friend of mine said, well, because it had a 6-inch beard, and but no spurs. And a friend of mine said, oh, that's a super jake. And I'm like, what's a super jake? Apparently, I don't know. Anyway, it's a funny story. But so I shot a jake. But anyway, like I said, I got out of my blind and did some crawling around, whatever, and I got into a couple positions. I got up to a spot where I thought I was going to get a good shot at the tom. Fighting with my decoy. That's a tom. Close. that didn't pan out. So set up my decoys. Again, you know, once a tom gets established with a couple of hens, after a month or so, you're not going to get them off those hens for anything. So anyway, long story short, in the end, I ended up setting about a 6-inch beard, and not a spectacular bird. Weighed 18 pounds, and hey, you know, I had one day to go hunting. I got my bird. I have nothing to complain about. But I am going to mount the tail because I've never done an immature tail, and an immature tail is a little different because all the feathers aren't even. Like some of the center ones are higher, if you've ever seen them. So it's kind of neat, and it's a short beard, so it's, you know, it's just something to talk. You know, for someone who's never seen an immature, now you can see what an immature looks like. But anyway, that was it. So put the turkey hunting stuff away, get the fishing stuff back out, and do some more fishing. And in between everything else. Okay, this is the fan. You can see these feathers are shorter and these are longer. Some jakes I've even seen the long feathers get down to here, but these two are short. Now a mature tail, and that's the little 6-inch beard. I've actually got it tucked in the salt. This has been sitting now for a couple weeks. Got to dry out a little bit more, and then I'll be able to put it on the board. But as you can see, there's a big difference in the length of the tail. It's a little different. It's a cool little fan, but it is an immature, and that's just the way it goes.